machine.
Please leave a message.
Hi, this is Jim Leinfelder calling from Neat Stuff. I'm over in Lafayette Park and going to come over and look at your stuff. Be there shortly. This is great. He does not let everyone see his stuff.
Think I have an in with the big guy? Think again. There's more than one White House in Washington, and this one's occupied by this man, Robert White.
This is John Kennedy's briefcase that he bought in Europe in the late 40s, and he's holding it in that picture.
Robert White has the largest private John F. Kennedy collection in the world. More than 150,000 items he claims once belonged to America's 35th president.
And here I have the majority of the better items in my collection.
These cabinets hold many of Kennedy's personal items. The ID card he carried as a U.S. Senator, passports, his and Jackie's, car keys, wallets, including the one he was carrying the day he was shot in Dallas, and jewelry.
This watch is the watch that he had on his wrist when he was inaugurated.
I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
And this,
Beautiful
in
watch.
particular, was John Kennedy's favorite photograph of him and his family, and he's wearing the watch in that photograph.
Scattered across this desk are pens and other items used by JFK during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
We have his doodles. He was a prolific doodler, and these are significant because they say blockade Cuba, Fidel Castro, NATO, Castro, and a
Wow.
ship.
Robert's monumental Kennedy collection includes this historic rocker, where JFK often sat to give dictation.
And a little sidebar of this chair is that when all the famous people came into the White House, they all wanted to collectively sit in the icon of the 60s, his rocker. So de Gaulle, Khrushchev, Harry Truman all sat in this chair because they wouldn't dare sit in the president's rocking chair in the Oval Office.
All the premier Duffs
Exactly.
were parked here.
This is it. These are the flags off the presidential limousine, the Lincoln Continental, used all during his presidency, but most poignantly used in Dallas on November 22nd, 1963.
How do you get this stuff?
Well, I got in with the personal aides that worked for President Kennedy, and I don't mean the butlers, I mean people that worked on a daily basis right with him in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
There was an inner circle of maybe 7 people, and I know some of them. I virtually have been given a lot of neat things over the years and never would consider selling them. I think collecting is the greatest thing. It's made my entire life.
As proof, Robert White has much more than just Kennedy collectibles. He has a coin from the Titanic,
A Christopher Columbus signature, which is a premier rarity.
That's amazing.
and a lineup of Egyptian mummy heads.
Jim, I also have the, I guess, dubious distinction of having the largest collection of shrunken heads in the world.
Wow.
Meet some of the 32 guys who had the misfortune of becoming a tribal status symbol.
This one is a particular favorite of mine. It still has the stubble on it, the beard, and it's just in perfect condition. And on really, really warm days, as it is today, it'll get kind of a sheen where it's almost like sweat.
The last time I was speaking admiringly of a head, it was, a beer. But that's a beautiful shrunken head. I got to hand it to
This
him.
is the prize of my collection. This is the chieftain's head of the Javaros of eastern Ecuador.
He looks a little bit like George Clinton. It's got a certain funkadelic look to it, the whole outfit.
Though he hopes to see it all in a museum someday, for now, Robert White is storing his collection here, in Washington's other White House.
I come down here and get lost and say, I can't believe I own some of this stuff.